Boy who tells mom about unexpected sight on way home becomes a hero. Just about every kid dreams of doing something courageous. But when Gerald Withers discovered a true catastrophe in 2017, he learned that real-life danger was nothing like the comic books. Still, despite being at first baffled by what he saw, Gerald summoned the courage to do what no one else his age would. 11-year-old Gerald Withers had about as much responsibility as any other kid his age. He had to keep his grades up and do chores around the house. That was about it. But on one November day, he entered a matter of life and death. Naturally, Gerald didn't expect to find himself in such a dire situation. The Festus, Missouri resident was focused more on that night's homework and whether or not his precious Green Bay Packers would be able to pull out a win that weekend. However, one bus ride changed everything. As Gerald gazed out the window on his way home from school, something by a nearby bridge caught his eye. He leaned forward and squinted to get a better look. For one thing, it looked like the guardrail over the bridge was completely busted on one end. Only some serious force could have caused such a dent, but Gerald couldn't imagine what that would be. Gerald's heart dropped when he noticed what looked like bits of machinery scattered just off the side of the road. Beyond that, he thought some kind of figure was lying in the field. Maybe it was a deer. Running up the bus aisle, Gerald brought all this to the attention of the bus driver. The ornery man admitted there was some kind of shape out there, but said there was nothing. He ignored Gerald's protests and whizzed right past the scene. Once he got home, Gerald was on the verge of panic. Most other kids would have forgotten the entire issue and just plopped themselves down in front of the TV. Gerald, on the other hand, knew he couldn't rest without finding out what happened at that bridge. Gerald's mom, Brandy Overturf, noticed that he seemed off. When she sat him down to figure out what was wrong, he shared what he saw from the bus window. Fighting back tears, he said that he feared the worst. Kids make up crazy stories all the time, but Brandy understood just how serious her son was. They hopped into the car and, while speeding down the road, Gerald told his mom exactly where he came across the mysterious shape. Gerald's anxiety peaked on the drive over, doubts swirling in his mind, and he wondered if he would remember the right spot. He even started to question if he really saw anything at all. Still, he would have regretted just plopping in front of the TV that evening. But as luck would have it, Gerald's directions to the bridge proved correct. Brandy and her son parked the car and ambled over to the bent guardrail. Looking down, Gerald pointed to something in a ditch. As they hiked down the ditch, Gerald and Brandy stumbled upon a terrifying sight. The remains of a motorcycle, wrecked beyond belief, spread all across the area. Intuition told the mother and son that the bike wasn't just left here for trash pickup. Brandy, as Gerald sprinted to the ditch. She soon understood why. A motorcyclist was sprawled out in the dirt. Though he was wearing a helmet, he wasn't moving at all. Brandy almost wanted to rush her boy away right then and there. After all, she didn't want an 11-year-old to witness a gruesome accident. But Gerald held out hope for the biker. He grabbed his mom's phone and dialed 911. When paramedics arrived at the scene, they confirmed that the motorcyclist was still breathing, but barely. Identifying him as Billy McMahon, they rushed to the hospital in an attempt to save his life. Gerald's grandfather, Bob, an avid biker himself, comforted the boy later that evening. Clearly, Gerald did everything he could, plus a little bit more. Bob's kind words were then cut off by the telephone ringing. It was the hospital. Against all odds, the caller said, Billy was going to pull through. He would make a full recovery and be able to return to, and bike with, his family in a matter of days. Of course, the hospital staff said that Gerald played a pivotal role in saving his life. By the time the school bus first passed Billy, he had already been sprawled out in the ditch for hours. If Brandy and Gerald hadn't gotten back out to investigate, Billy surely would have frozen to death overnight. Festus celebrated Gerald as a local hero. One stranger named Rob Bates even gifted him tickets to a St. Louis Cardinal game for his vigilance. Obviously, Gerald didn't help Billy McMahon for the attention, but it did make his dreams come true. As the story spread across the country, even the Green Bay Packers office heard about it. They thanked their brave fan by sending Gerald an autographed photo of quarterback Aaron Rodgers. along with a box full of official Packers gear. Still, Gerald recognized that his real reward was the chance to help out a person in need. Even though he was just a kid, Gerald saw what nobody else was able to, and that certainly wasn't the only time paying attention saved a life.